Faced with his father's reprimand, Xin said with an expression of pain, "Dad, isn't that the way things are like? Because of feelings? One party is always more involved than the other, and Leona has been steadfast in the years she has been with me. In comparison, I have let her down." Changfeng waved his hand with a somewhat impatient expression, and said, "Leona, don't talk about her anymore. Now is not the time to discuss the love of your children. The most important thing now is how to deal with our next affairs. The big trouble, yes, big brother." The second child, Xiaod, said with a sad face, "We are really stabbing the hornet's nest now. The whole of Japan is angry about the Su family, and the domestic people also think that we are ruthless and unjust, and the internet is all against us." Remarks, "As soon as the stock market opens tomorrow, the stock prices of our listed companies will definitely plummet, and then our losses will be incalculable." The third child Shorin blurted out, "Also, now even our own people will probably be chilled by Ruoli's affairs. The children don't know if they have heard of this. If they do, I'm afraid they will think more in their hearts," Changfeng said with a black face. "Go back and make it clear with your children. The reason why I want to use Ruoli to cooperate with the self-defense forces is that, on the one hand, Ruoli is not a dignified blood relative, but the result of a shameless private affair. Having a daughter, on the other hand, is also because Ruoli herself is bound to die, so let your children not think about it. Don't discuss this matter within the family. Offenders will be sent directly to South America to stay for 3 years." When everyone heard this, their expressions were stunned. The old man must feel that this incident is very embarrassing. As the traitor behind him, once the incident is exposed, he must feel unable to look up. As a result, everyone tacitly remained silent, no one spoke or even nodded. This is where the Su family's sons are smart. They all know that the old man pays great attention to his own face and majesty, so once he feels that this incident is a scandal, he does not want others to mention it again, then he simply doesn't even answer the right things and treat it as nothing. Seeing that everyone was silent, Mr. Su's face eased a little, and he said, "I'm planning a few things now, and you will listen to me." Everyone stepped forward and respectfully said, "Dad, say it," Elder Su said in a cold voice. "First, from now on, contact all the media that we can contact and pay a big price for them to delete the report. Second, contact all social media, platforms, and apps, and ask them to delete the sus incident from all the hot search lists and delete negative content. Thirdly, let the Navy dispatch the rumors, claiming that this incident is all a competitor's fiction, and Ruoli is not a descendant of the Su family at all. Anyone who dares to spread rumors on the internet or other media platforms must bear corresponding legal responsibilities." Everyone nodded. Elder Su sighed. "With the current situation, our Su family can only conduct PR stunts. As long as PR stunts are done well, it's not impossible to turn against the wind. Of course, the headwind can only come back to the domestic public opinion. The Japanese people and the government now hate the Su family. No matter how the Su family is washed clean, it is impossible to wash it in Japan. You will definitely not want to make money from the Japanese in the future. And in the future, Japan will definitely report to the revivalists in all aspects." Xin forced himself to temporarily put Leona and Ruoli's affairs behind him, and asked, "Dad, do you have any estimate of how much loss this incident will bring us?" Changfeng sighed. "For the time being, it's not good to say that Japan is the largest market in all of Asia besides our Chinese homeland. This alone will cause incalculable losses now and in the future. Moreover, Japanese companies have been deployed overseas for many years, and they have had a great impact. Whether it is the US or European markets, they are deeply involved. If they really want to attack Sus home overseas, all our future overseas expansion will be greatly affected." The second child Xiaod asked, "Dad, can't we remedy the relationship with the Japanese government?" "Remedy?" Changfeng smiled bitterly. "How to remedy it? If we can find Ruoli and then return her to the Japanese Judicial Department, we can more or less recover it, but now that Ruoli's whereabouts are unknown, what can we do?" Xiaod hurriedly said, "Then find a way to find Ruoli. At that time, hand Ruoli to the Japanese Judicial Department, attach a sincere and open letter of apology, and if possible, compensate for this. There should be a way." Changfeng waved his hand. Even if we lose money, we have nowhere to do it. The Matsumoto family has been wiped out. Even if we want to compensate their relatives with a sum of money, we must be able to find relatives. Then it will be even more touching. It hurts the nerves of the Japanese people. When everyone heard this, they all agreed. This matter is indeed different from ordinary criminal cases. In ordinary criminal cases, as long as the family of the deceased is actively compensated and is allowed to voluntarily issue a letter of understanding, a certain degree of lenient treatment can be obtained from the law and public opinion. However, Ruoli left the entire family of the Matsumoto family dead, and even the son of Matsumoto Ryoto, who had changed his surname with his ex-wife, wasn't spared. The Matsumoto family was dead, so how could any relatives come? Therefore, even if the Su family wanted compensation, no one could be compensated. Shoud said with an anguished look, "In this case, let's prepare with both hands. On the one hand, we should quickly do PR stunts, on the other hand, we should quickly find Ruoli's whereabouts." After that, he looked at Zin with regret and said seriously, "Big brother. Don't blame the younger brother for saying this. You said that this whole thing was done by you. If you didn't, if you mess with Shuying, there won't be such a tricky illegitimate girl like Ruoli." Zin saw that his second child suddenly attacked him, frowned, and said coldly, "Shoud, it happened 20 years ago. You still take it out and make a fuss in front of your father and other younger siblings. What is it?" Shoud didn't expect that his eldest brother was so sharp. He could see his thoughts all at once, and in the presence of his father and younger siblings, he first gave himself a moral kidnapping. He himself wanted to make use of the topic in front of the old man, and transfer the responsibility for this matter to Zin. In this way, it is equivalent to helping Dad transfer the responsibility, and he also splashed the eldest brother in front of Dad. A pot of dirty water. However, Zin's mind was really fast, and he poured the dirty water back all at once. So he immediately said again, "Big brother is right, Ruoli is in her early 20s, and it doesn't make much sense to talk about it, but let's just talk about the present. Just say that Jufei and Ziyu were kidnapped the other day, as long as you calmed down a little bit, didn't get angry, and let Ruoli leave, spare the Matsumoto family, this matter would not be where it is today. In the final analysis, it is still your trouble."